Welcome back to the Juice Podcast. It's been a while since we've done this.
Really have been a while.
I think it's been like 2 months or maybe more.
Yeah, we've had some interesting ideas and video ideas we wanted to try.
Yeah.
Some of them were kind of cool. Some of them were hot, if I do say so myself.
Too hot, yeah. We took the liberty of expanding our reach into the hot sauce universe.
Yeah.
And we experimented with the hostile hot sauce with at least one of the videos.
Yep.
And you took it way better than I ever did.
Yeah. I guess I did, yeah.
Yeah. Just a reminder that if you're welcome into if it's your first time at the podcast, welcome to the podcast. It's more like the podcast behind the show than anything else, really.
Yeah.
It's all about the music, and it's all about geeking out with the music and talking about the channel and the evolution of the channel, if you may. And
yeah, this is like cozy, fun, debating, funny stuff. Nothing serious. Everything is just...
It's very lean back, and if you got an hour to kill, this is the podcast for you for sure.
Yeah.
And remember to hit that like button and, of course, subscribe to the channel.
Absolutely. We'll try to keep the self-promotion to a like minimum level.
Yeah.
But we can't promise.
We can't promise anything, no.
And this is where you're just gonna throw in some walking rumor merch and stuff like that. They're just popping up everywhere.
Buy the merch everywhere, man. I like keeping the editing to a minimum on the podcast just because it doesn't really. People are not really in it for the editing part. They're more like in for just listening to what we have to say, very much unedited, like.
Yeah,
because the videos are very heavily
noise.
edited, of course. Like, there's several comments I have to like beep out, and like, well, we how do I make this not look like we're jumping all around the camera?
Yeah,
B-roll. That's what's happening.
Can't imagine what you have to like edit out. Is it all the times I say?
No, it's more the awkward silence.
Cool. I like the idea that we're having like a podcast where we don't swear at all. Normally when you say you beep it out. I'm guessing you're beeping this out also.
Thank you so much.
But it could be funny just to have a podcast where we don't swear one single time, but just randomly beep out words anyways. And people like won't get it, and they will think like everything we say is just some kind of weird slur all the time, just to confuse people.
Or we have to do one of those challenges where like every time we have like swearing, instead of a swear jar, you take one sip of the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it will be one long podcast.
Really, it could be not like if I had like said a sentence to you like, "You're just such a nice person."
Thank you.
And you just that was not a statement I will stand by. And you just had to beep out the word nice.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
Nothing wrong, and it just...
You're such a weird person.
It could be funny, and people would just think we were
What is a
there.
beep person?
I don't know.
A beep person would be a very beep person.
Absolutely.
Uncensored.
I'm a beep Paul.
A beep Paul?
I was gonna make like a joke about being beep polar or something like that, with the bipolar kind of stuff, and then I thought polar bear, and then everything went to.
This is the things that were cut out.
Yeah.
Like we tend to make episodes that are like 10 to 20 minutes long when we're doing reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
When we're recording it, they're usually 30 to 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I cut away so much content. Yeah. And usually when I'm editing these videos, it's more like, will the things we say right now have any value to the audience, or is it just us blabbing stuff out? Like,
video editing is a very heavy job because there's so much.
It's very underrated. Like how much time it actually takes. Starting this YouTube journey so far, it's been overwhelming how much time the editing process takes. Actually,
and your editing skills and the way you edit things now are really, really good. Like,
thank you.
An amazing like flow in it. I'm the one who edits. I have no idea how to do it, but I know how much time you spend on it, and it's there's also so much artistic expression going into the edit. How you keep a steady flow? Can you keep people's like attention? Does it matter? Does it not matter? Like there's a lot more going into this.
There's a lot of decisions going into it, definitely.
And when you record like this and the episodes that we're doing, even though we try to have some sort of script, some sort of direction, you also just need a lot more content to edit in than you think. It's actually important you have stuff to like edit out. Yeah. So you also just have to like you edit, you record so much things and stuff, and then you like throw it out and stuff. But it's not really like wasted. You kind of need something to cut in, I guess. You need all that content, but it takes like so long.
Yeah,
like 1 hour can easily just be 10 minutes.
Yeah, we went from having 3 episodes a week down to 2 episodes a week.
Yeah,
and then we went from 2 episodes a week to maybe 1 a week. We're still trying to do it weekly, but your schedule is busy. My schedule is very busy as well. And we had this. We kind of compensated like this. Maybe we should just do. What is the main focus point of the channel? It's of course it's music. It's everything music, and that can be maybe a little too broad of a spectrum when it comes to new visitors. Like, okay, we're seeing reviews here, we're seeing music tips, we're seeing a podcast. What is happening? Like, the podcast isn't for everyone. It's for the ones who are interested in the channel and very invested into it. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate that. The musical tips are definitely for the ones who has a geeks out about music, but are music invested themselves. They're
they want to who release music, or
who wants to work with the music industry and such. And the reviews are definitely most for the fans of that particular artist, or the ones who wants to expand their musical reach. Like,
we are expanding our musical interest just by this, because we're not taking stuff we actually know. We're taking pretty new stuff.
Just today we did the Blackpink the review.
Never heard it.
And I never heard Blackpink before, even though it's such a huge female group. I was like blown back about like how impressive they are, and we talked a lot about the Spice Girls formula here as well.
Yeah, we had a lot of negative things to share too, but that was so much to unpack.
And it's so fun to see when people are actually recommending us new artists and new songs we haven't heard before, and we pick those out. Like the Nick Farrell, we never heard about that guy either, and we did a video on that. So,
but it's still like it's a different audience still.
Yeah.
So like we have a lot of things we want to do, because we also just want to have. We also made that hot sauce challenge.
Yeah, like again, like who was that even for? And I was like, well, that's
just us having fun.
It's about just having fun, and it's for the ones who's dedicated to, like, kind of like the podcast, dedicated to the ones who invest themselves in the channel.
But it also takes a lot of time. It is interesting to see that this takes a lot of time to record. We're probably gonna sit here for like 45 minutes, an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Who knows? But that's a long time. But the editing, done.
Yes.
Then you see a video like from us or any other creator that might be 20 minutes long. They've spent days on it. It takes a long time. I'm
at the point where like today's Wednesday. And it's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Let's see, I'm losing track of time here. It's Sunday, and we're recording on Sunday, and I won't be editing today because we have so much recording to do today. We recorded a review today, and now we're recording a podcast. Yep. And for me to edit all of that, including our shorts that I'm using, just recently started doing shorts as well. It can take me like 4 or 5 days to edit a good episode.
Yeah.
That will keep the audience watching. Like, it's all about that watch time and click through rate, and still learning about like title, CEO, and thumbnails, and it's all that.
It's bureaucracy. There's just so much that is not art and having fun and making videos. Yeah. There's all that other stuff, SEO and all that kind of,
you can't
YouTube
deny
it's important.
Yeah, you can't deny that it's important, because you're scrolling through YouTube, and what do you see? You see a thumbnail and you see a title, and those two elements alone will have to make you want to click that video and watch it all the way. Like, and then you get into the intro.
Yeah,
and the intro, it has to capture you and make sure you want to watch the rest of the video. It's very difficult, and having that learning curve, dear God.
Yeah, I think the interesting part for me, of course, the recording. and I think the editing, there can be a lot of fun doing that too.
Yeah.
That's, because there are still a lot of art and artistic expression going through. How do you want to, like, you have an emotion or something we'll talk about here, how we present that in the best way possible and stuff like that. There's a lot of art in that. And then there's the algorithm. Then there's the thumbnail pics. Then there's the title and the hashtags and the, look at us, we're here now. I hate that part. I know nothing about it. I don't know what that stupid computer is gonna do to my content.
And I don't really care.
And I don't care. Nobody knows, and it's just so boring. Oh, I have to use this word and I have to do that, and it's difficult because it can really kill.
It's really killing the creative vibe that you've got going on and the creative flow, especially with social media as well being more and more SEO optimized. It's starting to focus on the wrong stuff. Like, we're more focused on girls shaking their ass than an actual talented person and trying to, like, I know I'm Crimea River probably, right? But that's just the case. It's beginning to be, I have to be honest about that one. I'm getting more and more off social media. I'm posting less and less. And of course, I know I'm preaching that if you want to succeed with your music still, definitely in 2022 and 2023, you have to be very consistent on social media. Like, you have to be in people's faces constantly. But I, at the same time, feel something has changed. There's been a shift. Like, people has been kind of fed up with social media lately. The followings aren't really growing. Views has been more prioritized than pressing the like or follow button. Like, if you see on TikTok, like, TikTok couldn't give a rat's how many likes you have. Like, you can have 200,000 views on a video and it probably has 100 likes. And ergo, it doesn't really give a if you have how many likes you have. It's more interested in keeping people watching. So if you have, let's say, a 5-second video, the average percentage of people watching 5 seconds instead of 15 seconds is way higher. So of course your average view duration has been spiking because you only have 5 seconds. Ergo, the algorithm will probably push that video even further. And people has been experimenting with that lately. Yeah,
because that's again a thing. Nobody really knows
what's going on. But they're starting to figure it out, and it just kills the game.
But they also just change it all the time. I think you're right. I've been posting the way I use social media. I went on social media because, connecting with friends and family and sharing stuff and like that. And, catching up on the world or whatever favorite artist I had. And I've gone completely off that. I don't give a damn about social media in that way. I only use it professionally.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't care. I don't want to see all those angry people. Because there are really a lot of anger. There's also a lot of wonderful things, but it takes you just 2 seconds and then you're in a deep rabbit hole with very angry people screaming and shouting about stuff that doesn't matter, who have the most insane opinions, and they are willing to insult people from here to Mars just to I don't know, prove some weird point about Mario's hat. Like, it's that stupid sometimes. And it's just, I don't want it. And it just takes one comment, and then the algorithm would just push that in your face constantly.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing, now they're saying comment. I really love that, because I started to see the upside of hate comments. It's still a comment, and if you reply to it, now you have 2 comments.
Yeah.
And if you reply to it in such a way that the hater will leave another comment, now you got 3 comments.
Yep.
And
as long as
if that keeps going, the content will be pushed even more. So even though they're hating on you, they're actually helping your content getting pushed even more. But
that is only some media platforms that work, because TikTok,
especially on YouTube, that works.
Yeah, because TikTok is a little problematic. They have an algorithm to check when things get banned. So you can mass report accounts, and you can just lose your account, and that's just a robot who decides that for you, and you can't get it back. So if you're unlucky and people ban you because they don't like what you're saying, you just lost all your content. Because it's just a robot. It doesn't care if it's actually not okay. If people are angry enough, they can just mass report and you're gone. So TikTok's not the place. YouTube, that's different. They have some very different. They also pay you better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going away from TikTok trying to get over to YouTube because better monetization.
Yeah,
Twitch
it's
is
definitely
also a good place.
After YouTube Shorts came out.
Yeah.
And YouTube just relieved this huge bombshell on it's about getting easier for smaller creators to reach that revenue goal.
Yeah.
As long as you do it in 12 months, which is almost impossible in my book. But then again, that's a whole other subject.
Depends on what content you create and what kind of fan base you have.
And what kind of thing you're striving for.
So many things.
And it kind of gets me back to when I'm releasing content nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm releasing content that has some sort of it's a value of those who wants to stick around, and it's a value in a such way that if I have to release anything, I have to make damn sure that people keep watching it. It has to be entertaining from start to finish.
Yeah.
It has to keep your attention like constantly, right?
Yeah.
It has to be in your face all the time. Which actually take me into the transition of today's topic that we talked about before getting on here is the experience of live shows. And we've been the whole summer has been very, very busy for both of us. We've been out playing shows a lot this summer, and I've been to a lot of your shows definitely because you're playing guitar for one of my clients.
I am,
and he's been exploding this summer. Like he's been playing some major shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which
shows.
I am so proud of the boy, and I'm so proud of like seeing you piggyback on this guy. And
I'm having a lot of fun with it. I don't know if you're gonna show some clips.
Yeah, we're gonna show some clips of some of the shows that you're playing here.
I saw some of like your show with Walking Rumor and the new music video. Oh my god.
The music video is a spoiler though.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't. You have to beep it out then. Yeah. Beep it out. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. It's just it's good. Like the live show, you showed me some clips from that. It's the whole glow stick thing.
It's been one heck of a ride.
It has.
But
yeah, and that's actually also why we talked about why we sometimes have trouble like getting videos out. Consistently we try, but it's difficult. We both have a life next to this.
Yes, we have a professional life next to this.
I just had a medical urgency that took like 14 days. That just
and I had to be very creative. That's why we said that if it's inconvenient for you to show up on the show. Well, I have a list of video ideas that I can do solo, and to be fair, those videos takes just as long to do than if we're both of us here. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same problem. But yeah,
that's also it's also so difficult because I like to do this for fun because it's supposed to be fun, right?
It's supposed to be fun,
but it's also
cozy.
It's a frustrating thing sometimes with the YouTube thing because we live a little bit apart, so we have to travel to each other. Things are expensive. There's a lot of things, right? Yeah. And if I have a show or I have anything to do, this is what's gonna have to be sacrificed.
Yes, it's
because I can't just call like the day before and then I'm not coming. I have to record a YouTube video. No, that's not how things work. So it's just it's just very difficult. I can't call my doctor and said, can you hold on with the anesthesia? I have my body. I need to like. And so it's just
and then again, it's all about keep it a schedule and having one day a week where we try to make some content for the YouTube. Yeah, we try to do that.
But that's also the important part and why this can be difficult because concerts and band practice, all that kind of stuff. It's very important.
It's very unpredictable as well. Like if we're supposed to, I don't know, create content on a Wednesday, if that's the general idea, and something comes up that is a little more, I don't say a little more important, for our professional lives, on that day, we kind of have to either push the date for doing YouTube content, or we can look at, okay, who's doing what and when. Yeah. And let's try to pick out some ideas. Like we keep coming up with ideas on the board and saying, well, if we can make the two of us, I can do something solo. Yeah. And if we can make the both of us, like, well, let's pick an idea out of the pile and see what fits to
we try to stay
today.
Yeah, we try to stay like prepared.
Yeah.
Stuff like it's mostly you doing that job, and I know that and acknowledges that. But yeah, it's difficult because you also just need to be professional with so many things, and you know, it's annoying. It's really annoying, and it can be difficult to like fit it in, especially with the editing process. It takes so long time.
and especially this summer where things has escalated very, very dramatically in such a way. It's a positive thing that things escalates and it peaks, but it's been stressful. I mean, it's been different. It's you
should tell them about your last concert.
My last show,
and how much you needed to like prepare. And
what
you had
dear
to
God!
Do.
Like, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Oh
wow.
I had a meeting in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And I went to Copenhagen, and
just so people know, that's like the opposite
side
that's
of
like
the country.
Farthest away from the country on the right side. You know, as far away you can get.
Yeah. Imagine like we've put up a map of Denmark.
Yep.
And Copenhagen is way over there, and I live here. Yeah. In the middle here on Fyn. And I had a meeting in Copenhagen, and straight from there I had to drive home
to meet me.
To meet you. To take care of the house. Yeah, to take care of the cats and the house and everything. And I went playing the last show of the year with Walkie Rumor in Aalborg, and that's way up there.
Yep.
And straight after that show, when we were done there, I had to say goodbye to the guys and catch a ferry with my mom. I had
to go over
to Sweden,
to Sweden.
And when I was there, it was like almost like past midnight, and I had to drive 4.5 hours to get to my brother's house because we were supposed to be at his granddaughter's baptism.
I guess that's what it's called. Yeah, that's a baptism.
At like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh dear God, I was done. I was tired. That was a long trip. And after that, like
a few days later,
going all the way back home. So I drove like full circle.
You had to like drive through with Copenhagen, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a wow. You were so busted.
I was done. For several days later, my body kept shaking. I was exhausted beyond recognition. It was kind of panicky in a way.
It's a long drive and a lot of things that could go wrong. I knew you had some troubles with the concert too, and electrical problems. And then you had 3 minutes and just throw shit in the car and try to get to the ferry. Because if that left, you were screwed.
I was screwed. Then I would have to drive all the way back through Denmark.
My God, you were really stressed. It was just such a shame. And then you just played a killer concert. I saw some of the video, really cool.
Thank you so much, man.
When you need to be professional, that's just
and being professional and planning stuff, like spinning around to the topic of the day, is like planning shows. And it's true. All about why we're talking also about the social media and having the ability to consistently keep people watching.
Yeah,
you have to make a show interesting. You have to make it fun to be there at the show for the audience, not just for you. I think I made a video about this one for for how to improve your live shows, and
Yeah.
I can make a card above your head somewhere to link to that video if you want to watch that.
Yeah.
It's all about having yourself in your head at a show. That's the worst thing you can do. You're at the least. You're at the bottom of the barrel of thoughts that should be in your head during a show.
Yeah.
You have to think of everybody else first and everything else. You have to think about definitely the audience that is there, the crew, the catering crew, like all the sound engineering stuff and all the things you have to prepare.
And that's an important word. Prepare. Just
never wing it.
Into that,
never just show up and wing it. Never do that.
So important. And I think you're right. I think a lot of people kind of sometimes forget why they are playing a gig. Because I hope you're getting paid for gigs. Not always, but if you're getting paid, right? Yeah. Somebody are paying you to provide a service.
Yeah.
You are like, they're not there for you. You're there for them. They paid you. Dance, monkey, dance.
Yeah.
Like, but I know it's like a little bit, and like a simple way of putting it, but that's what it is. They're not there to, if you're a rock star, they paid you to come deliver a rock show and be cool and have an experience. They're not there for you. You're there for them. Yeah. They paid you to do this. So that's also what you need to deliver, right? You need to be in that state of mind. And I think it's important to remove yourself and remove your ego and remember, why are you there?
Yeah.
Right? You are there to create an experience for them. Even though it's an amazing experience for us to be on stage. It's so amazing to be on stage and perform. It's an amazing experience. But remember, you're doing it for them too, not just for you.
It's kind of a privilege to even be able to stand on a stage and play a guitar and whatever and like perform your tracks, because there's so many musicians out there, and you're the one who got booked. And keep that in mind. So if you're getting booked, play it like it was the last show of your life, with every show.
Definitely. It's definitely hard, but I think if you can remove yourself like from your own head, remove your ego from the situation and just give it your all. Remember who you are as an artist, remember what you're doing and what you're maybe your stage persona, be the best you can be.
The worst artist that I know is definitely the ones who comes out to the stage and like, look how beautiful I am. Like,
they can just have that energy and attitude. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, I'd rather see the guy who comes out on stage and is like, look how beautiful you are. Yeah. You are. Thank you so much for... You could be... Like, people could be anywhere in the world, but they're at your show looking at your dumb performing a track or a performance. And that's one of the things it's a performance. Musicians could learn a lot from looking at theater.
Yeah.
Looking at theater, like...
completely. It's a performance.
Yeah, it's a performance. Theater keeps performances interesting. They're telling a story throughout their entire performance.
Yeah.
Musicians should be able to do the same thing.
Agreed.
It's not all about the music.
I actually have a little bit of a hot take with some of these things.
Oh, interesting. To, like, lay it on me.
Like, I agree. It's just so important that... how should I put this? A lot of people, when they come to see a concert, they don't come to listen to your music.
No.
They're coming to party. Like, I think it's important, like, if they want to hear your music, they're on Spotify.
They can do that at home.
They're coming to see you, and most people are coming to have a party. They're coming to have a good time. If they were only there for the music, they would have stayed home and listened to your album.
There's a reason there's a bar.
They're there for the experience. A lot of people talk about, like, the environment. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the air, the feeling, the emotions, the connection, and the whole party and the good times. That's why they're there.
Yeah.
They couldn't really give a rat's ass about the music. That's kind of like a second place. And I think if you're as an artist, remember that they're actually more there for a party, to start a party up. I think it's also kind of relaxing because you kind of remember that it doesn't really matter if you up on stage. If people are having the best time of their life, they're not gonna notice.
They don't gonna care.
Yeah, and when you look at a lot of musicians who make amazing show, like I don't know, look at the Oscars or some other kind of TV thing where there's an audience and people are going crazy. And Britney Spears, I remember a show with Britney Spears. She comes around with an anaconda on her body and stuff like that. And when you look at the audience, they're bored, mindless.
They don't care.
Look at the Oscars or some of those shows. There's some amazing band that's doing all kinds of things, and people are just sitting like this. They're bored. You know why? Because
there's no party going on. Like
it's just like a circus.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. Oh, look, the weird thing are saying weird sounds with something weird on her head. Yay. Yeah. But it's not really a party, and they're not there to party. And honestly, whenever I see those shows, I'm bored, mindless.
There's supposed to be some sort of return of investment for the audience. Like if you're showing up at a concert, do you like imagine what you wish your idols did for you during a show? Do that. Like if you wish that your biggest idol dragged you up on stage and let you play his damn guitar, do that. Yeah. Like, absolutely. If you're worried about your Gibson Les Paul, then buy a shitty, crappy guitar and make him play that. It's the experience. He doesn't care that it's a guitar for like $3,000. He doesn't care about that one. He just cares about the experience of being able to be part of your track. Like, how about going down to your audience and have them sing one of your songs with you? Switch the roles. Like if you can some magical way make sure that the audience is part of the show, that you're feeling like they are a part of the experience, that the show couldn't really be done or go on without them, then you're hitting home run for me.
And that's like my whole shtick with this. You can't buy the audience a good experience.
No.
You can buy all the firework you want. You can buy dances and stuff. If they're not you can't buy a good time. This is why the most simplistic of bands who just goes up with a guitar and they shout at the audience and everybody is having the most amazing time ever. They don't need fireworks. They don't need all the fancy glitter and all the fancy lights. But they still connect with the audience. Yeah, it's funny to see how Freddie Mercury can just go "Ayo" and everybody loses their minds instantly. Yeah, and then you see people like buying the most insane, expensive shows, and people like, I don't want to go see it. It looks boring. Yeah, you can't go anywhere. Everything's like And it's not to say that buying all that stuff is bad. It's an amazing show, but you just can't buy that audience connection. No. You can't buy that. You need to have that with your audience from the get-go. It doesn't matter with all that glitter stuff. Yeah. You need to have that connection with your audience. And I think that's very important to do. And I think it's more important than all the other stuff. It's even more important than the actual music. The music is what's supposed to make people come, but the show is going to be all about the party. Yeah, at the end. I
remember, I think it was Green Day who did that once. Who had by the time that people came into the venue, they had this sorting hat of people could write their own set list and put it into a sorting hat. And then before the show even began, someone got dragged up on stage and pulled a set list out of the hat, and that was the show that Green Day was going to play.
That's amazing.
I was like, that's so genius.
That's so funny.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. I bet actually a lot of the fans probably had like similar ideas of a set list. Yeah. I guess. That's a good idea. It's fun.
It was freaking genius. Like
also, normally when we talk about setting up like a set list, what songs to play when, there's actually like some pretty standard ways of doing it, because again, it's a story you need to tell with energies and flow and ups and downs, stuff like that. But just like trashing that whole concept and just go, what do you think? I think this, right? That's what we do.
We're gonna do that. That's cool. Like, what do you want? We want this. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. But because you're paying for it.
But it's Green Day. They are anarchy. So it makes sense, I guess.
They are masters of this.
Yeah.
And I remember way back in the day when I saw Hoobastank for the first and only time of my freaking
You're
life.
such an old fart.
Yeah, Hoobastank, who created The Reason.
Yeah.
And during that song, they dragged a couple up on stage where the guy had to propose to his girlfriend.
Oh,
Of course she said yes.
Of
but
course.
they did that during the song was playing.
that's cute.
While the band was playing The Reason. That's one of the most romantic things I have ever seen. And the lead singer, he was way more focused and way more hyped about she saying yes than actually singing the song.
Yeah.
But it's a fun gimmick.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's a great idea.
Has it been done before? Yes, but it's just...
But it works.
When bands wants to do that for
Yeah.
you. I also just feel a lot of people, like, a lot of bands in general, it can seem so... I don't know, difficult or anxiety to just write or ask questions to your bands. But I really do think that a lot of, like, if you just ask Green Day, hey, can you do this for me, or can we do this on my birthday? I think a lot of musicians really love it. They like to do that kind of thing.
Especially,
take the chance.
Especially the ones who's looking for a challenge.
Yeah,
like they've done this thing for 35 years in a row. Like I think they want challenges. Like they want to be pushed somehow.
Yeah.
It definitely also in a way of saying, well, can you do this service if for a small fee, right?
Absolutely.
So
just do it. Send them a mail, send them a letter or pigeon or whatever. Just do something. Trust me. I think
throw that pigeon for the window.
I think a lot of musicians
tour
really
bus,
still like that. It's amazing to see when it happens. I saw, I think it was it Metallica, something, that had a kid up and they gave the kid their guitar and you know, it's just beautiful. I think Angus Young one time, also one of my big idols, you know, just with his iconic Les Paul SG, right? And just handed it to someone in the audience. It's just...
I remember there's a famous video out there where Metallica is doing a meet and greet, and they're just giving a signed guitar away to a random fan in the crowd, like in the meet and greet line. They're just giving it to him, like, here you go. His face is priceless. Like his soul left his body.
These are of course very famous people we are mentioning, but I think it's again an important lesson that I've been to small bands too.
Yeah.
Why do they all throw their drummer sticks or their picks and stuff like that? And you can see the audience actually want it. They want memories, and they want to remember this amazing party where they were almost killed by a flying drumstick, right?
It's a story they bring back home.
Yeah, and it's just so important to notice these things as an artist. Just look how much they want to be here.
Yeah.
And respect that. Remember what they're paid for and what you can give them, and just look how much they will treasure this little piece of cheap plastic that we call a guitar pick. They will sometimes treasure it forever.
Yeah.
So that's like, it's an important thing.
Yeah.
A little piece of cheap plastic can mean so much.
I think one of the biggest difficulties new bands have, it's the cringe culture. And oh my God, if I could take that word and shove it up everyone's, like, stop worrying about it being cringe. Just be different. Dare to be different. I think I don't remember whose slogan even that is, but it's a slogan for a reason. Dare to be different. Like, if you can make something crazy, make it phenomenally weird, people will talk about it. Like it's important to be the subject of the conversation after the show. Not during, not before, but after the show. Like, if you can make people go out and talk about how awesome your show was, other people that you're talking to must gotta get this feeling of missing out on something extraordinary, and they want to be at your next show automatically. Like, it's a psychic thing. It's like it's a mental thing.
There's also a part of that we need to remember that, people have cell phones and cameras, and they will record, and maybe they'll record you do something horrible, stupid, and people will laugh, and you put it up. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing that can happen. But also, what are you going to do about it? This is just a real thing that happens. Do you want to be a musician? Do you want to have a good time on stage? Do you want people to enjoy what you do? Well, if the answer is yes, I'm sorry to say you're just gonna have to deal with it. That's kind of just the reality. And
it's the circumstances you said yes to.
Most people won't do it. Most people, like, remember, people have paid to see you. They want you to succeed. They want you to, they have paid to see you play.
Yeah.
They want you to play good. Like that's what they're there for. They're not paying to let's hope the guitarist fucks up today. No, that's not why they're there, actually. Yeah, of course, they're always assholes, but that's just the world we live in. You can't hide by but what if it's cringe? I know it's a real thing, but...
Yeah, but like... Ozzy Osbourne ate the damn head of a bat.
Yeah, you just have to. You just have to get on with it.
It's
Move on.
It's one of those things where if we should go through the history of musicians who did crazy stuff live, and if you were to do the same thing, would you feel that it was cringe or? Yeah, probably you would. They probably did the same thing, but they didn't care, and that was what's beautiful about it. Yeah. People loved it, and they had something to talk about going away from there. Like, we had a show this summer playing here in Odense, our hometown, and we did this weird gimmick. I had to convince the boys to do it. It was a serious discussion because I love you guys, but you had this cringe mentality as well sometimes. And I don't.
No.
So I did this weird thing where I bought 100 glow sticks. And we had cameras filming the show anyway, so I can show it to you guys to see the power of it. It's been dark the whole show. It's been we've been there performing. We had people doing call and response and all the classical things that you would normally see at a live show. But then I took it one step further. So at when people wanted that encore track, so we're playing "Tears Me Apart." It's one of those most popular tracks we have, and I went out from the stage and I came back in with 100 glow sticks, and I tossed it into the crowd and let everyone spread it out, and people would love those glow sticks. It's such a simple thing. It doesn't cost much, and the effect of it was it looks cool.
It does.
You're seeing this ocean of glow sticks in different colors from the stage, and it definitely, from their point of view, they're having fun with these glow sticks. They can do all kinds of weird stuff.
Someone who had put it in her hair.
They're doing hats with it. They're doing wristbands. They're doing glasses with them. They can do everything. You're giving them the elements of a party, and it went nuts from there.
It's so amazing because it was actually when I say small crowd, I you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
it was not 1,000 people, a small crowd around 100.
It doesn't have to be,
but they were just having so much fun.
They're having a time.
It was amazing to see that it from the beginning when you guys went on, it was all right, people are there, and then 3 songs in, people were losing their mind. They were headbanging, they were throwing glow sticks, and it was just instant party vibes. And that's also a thing I really think that you guys are doing good, especially when in Denmark and Odense, where it can be a little difficult to gather a crowd when you play.
Yeah,
you know how to start a party. So you play good, and people are having a great time. It doesn't matter if there's 10 or there's 300. People are having a good time. It's every time.
It's the mentality of we are the bottom of the barrel in our heads because we're not there for us.
And that was actually what we were going to talk about in this podcast. We actually wanted to talk about do's and don'ts when you're touring, going on
the
stage.
Do's and don'ts about touring. Yeah, of course.
What are good ideas to do? What are not good ideas? And of course, when we talk about this, we need to remember that
don't take a shit in the tour bus.
Internationally, there's a big difference. The audiences are very different. The way the venues work very differently.
Yeah.
Denmark is just a small country, and what we do here can't necessarily be directly transferred to every other country out there.
Oh,
but
because we have a very different culture here when it comes to
absolutely
everything.
Yeah,
especially live shows.
Yeah, And like a thing that I sometimes have wondered about, but of course I understand why. Why would you buy big stacks? Like, what do you need 100 watts for? 200 watts for?
I don't really know, because
single
the show is going to be mic'd up anyway.
Mic'd up.
Yeah.
Unless you need a very specific sound from a very, very heavy amplifier, you don't need to be able to play up 200 people, because it's gonna be mic'd up regardless.
And orange like this one is plenty enough. That's you don't. It's fine. You don't need a bigger amp than this one.
At least if it's only if it's because you want a very specific sound.
Yeah.
Fine, absolutely, go for it. But it's because if it's because you think you need to be able to be heard over the drummer for 300 people. That's not going to be an issue in Denmark. No. It's very rarely an issue. Those places that are so small can often only have like 50, 100 people. Plenty with that one.
Yeah.
And
even
places
festivals,
that's bigger than that,
even festivals are miking up their amps. So
everybody
and I bet they're doing that in other countries as well. But
not everywhere, but
not everywhere. We've seen some places where they don't mic it up, and I'm heavily confused about it every time it happens.
Yeah.
In our case, it would be very difficult because we're using modeling amps, so Kemper and stuff. So
really easy. Like, just plug it in with a USB, and you're good to go.
Well, that's a topic for another podcast.
Absolutely. But that's like an advice that you probably can't transfer directly, because it's so rare that I'm in a situation where I need a lot of power in my amp, so I can only focus on sound. I'll just focus on the right sound and what's easy for me. But in other situations, in other countries, you might need bigger amps.
Yeah.
So that's like a thing where my advice would be, don't buy heavy shit. Because you're gonna carry it and you're gonna break your back, dude.
And it is really not necessary, dude.
Yeah, you don't need it.
No.
But someplace you might need it. So
like I would go, like I was the type when I was a kid. I even have my Black Star amp here.
Yeah.
And before that one, I had a PV Wolf King.
Yeah, I've also had the Wolf King Head 100.
But
wasn't it actually mine you borrowed?
No, I bought my own. I bought my own because I borrowed yours and I loved that sound, so I bought my own.
Nice.
But the worst thing about that PV was oh my god, it was like carrying around a concrete brick everywhere.
The top was so heavy.
It was so heavy. Like what the hell happened to it?
And it's not just that. Okay, it's heavy, but you could lift it. I can lift it. It's not. It's just.
Thank you.
You have to do. You have to do it so much. It's not that you can't lift it. It's just you have to just. It's again and again and again. And when you've done it on tour 50 times and
you're gonna be buff.
You're gonna be annoyed by it.
Yeah.
You're having to get a whole bus or trailer just to have your freaking amplifier. It's annoying.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's just so stupid.
So one of the best things I ever did for myself is like going down onto a combo.
Yeah.
Like definitely one of these oranges we have here.
Orange.
I love orange. Yeah. I love the sound from the orange. It has that crunchy feeling.
Denmark, but
they can be expensive, but you can also find them cheaper. But
it's a good one.
This one is
for rock.
Is Swedish. So
I wanna get like a what's it called? Micro Terra? Tiny Terra, sorry, not
Tiny
the micro.
Terra, yeah.
I want the Tiny Terra. I know it's an older top, but I like it's a little tiny, amplifier. And then I just need like a little.
Do you remember the old small Roland cubes?
Yeah, the Roland cubes.
Yeah. They were actually pretty good.
They were for that time, yeah. For modeling amps at the time, they were pretty good. Like I've played a couple of them today. I'll take that one.
Yeah, you'll take that one any day.
I'm not gonna spend the money on it. I know they're cheap, but I'm not gonna spend the money on them because they're not that good anymore. They are better at.
It's actually one of those fun things with when I was touring with a band called The that's many years ago. We came in with those big amps, and they came in with these small, like an amp you can buy for like I don't know. $200 in a music store, like very small, and the sound's so crunchy. But then again, that was the sound they were looking for, and they know that this amp is going to be mic'd up anyway. Why would I crank it up to 11? I can just crank it to where it sounds good and is easily to carry. And I was like, that was like a revelation for me. Like, why am I carrying around with this heavy, dumb amp.
Especially if there's like...
I felt stupid.
If you can get just a good
I felt
sound,
stupid for so many times. So.
Sorry. If you can get just as good of a sound with something smaller and you don't have to break your back carrying all that power, why do it?
Yeah, why do it?
That's kind of the thing.
Do you need it?
Of course, it's subjective. If you have like a ginormous amplifier and it's just the right sound, well, then it's just tough luck. You're going to have to carry it around.
Yeah.
But if you don't have to, if you only have that big one because of the power, maybe
consider go down.
Because the sound engineer and the sound guys and backstage crew are going to hate you anyways, because it's heavy and they have to work the whole day.
And the worst part is if you're playing support for a headliner, your stuff is taking up a lot of space, first of all. And the next problem is if more bands than you are going to play that same evening and they're coming with their amps, you have to find a creative way to stack them on top of one another. And if that can't be done, then we're having a humongous issue.
Yeah. And that's also a good advice. Now we're talking about the back crew and groupies. I was just about to say
groupies. If you're having groupies as crew, okay.
I'm not gonna say anything, but respect.
Yeah,
you talked about before, or you are kind of like in the bottom. You're kind of there to remove your ego. Remember why you're there, who you are, stuff like that. There are people. Like there's I don't know, often you get like a person to contact about food. You probably have
get the catering, you get the sound engineer, and you got the stage techs, and
exactly all those kind of thing, and maybe the people in the bar and stuff like that. How important it is to leave a good impression.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? Just like have a good conversation with the person in the bar, show interest for them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
Be helpful while you're there. Offer to help upset the stage. Offer to pick down stuff from the stage once you're done, instead of just. And when you're done playing a show, don't be an towards the audience either.
Yeah, it's just
go onto that floor and
it's just
embrace the compliments and talk to people.
You shouldn't think this was needed to say, but don't be an to the crew. Don't be an in general. Just need to respect.
I don't know how many times I've seen it on tour, like people being like, especially musicians. I'm getting shocked sometimes.
Yeah,
how they're like talking to these poor people who's working there and making sure like it's their job to make sure that you can play a proper show. So they kind of have your career in their hands right now, and you decide to be an
absolutely like
why
we hate when famous people are assholes. Like we really hate it. Like if no matter
why you're
James
gonna
Hetfield or Nicki Minaj, if they are being like some really annoying people, we hate it. So what do you think is gonna happen when you
are being
are not James Hetfield or Nicki Minaj? Are gonna be an about people? Because trust me, people are gonna talk.
How you take those people as a contrast. They're way two different parts of the pond.
To be fair, I mentioned those two like they are big problems in being like they were just two famous people. I'm not even saying they're being assholes, but you know what I'm talking about. When famous people are being horrible, we can't even like deal with that. So what do you think gonna happen when a nobody like you, who are trying to make it through the business, are being an a-hole to people? Trust me, it's gonna spread. People don't like it. Be polite and be professional. Please show up on time. And if you don't, something happened, you're not sure, please just hand an apology instantly. And don't go with that. But it was because, and that was a red light. No, just, I'm so sorry. Let's get to work. Let's get this party going. And I'm so sorry. I'll buy you a beer in the bar.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it. No excuses. That's just the word, sorry, and let's get to work. And then you're going to do everything you can to make this thing rolling.
Show up, be a professional, be empathetic with the people who's around you, and remember why you are there. Mm-hmm. You're not there to boost your ego. You're there to play a show and provide a service.
Yep. Say just the word thank you.
Imagine if the mailman came knocking on your door and complained about your tiles in your driveway being harsh on his shoes. Imagine that scenario. Like,
so it's
what? That would be weird.
I think it's the most important, it's just some of the most important like lessons to give on. Just please be polite to people and help, because it's gonna leave such a, people are gonna talk about it. I actually talked with some backstage crew, some nice ladies who were preparing the catering place, and I was talking to them, and they had so many nice stories about people who had played there, and every single one of the stories always ended with something like, "Oh, he was so polite, he was so nice," and it's often like a famous Danish artist. Like we have an artist called Buhan G. Maybe not the most active artist right now, but back in the day, he was like a really famous Danish guy. And these ladies was just like, "Oh, he was so polite. Oh, he was so humble, and he helped and stuff like that." It's always stuff like that, and people remember that kind of stuff. And so it's just so important.
You may or may not believe this, but some catering and some people in, I don't know, in the wardrobe, or some people at the bar have the power to convince the venue to rebook you. And their opinion matters big time.
It can matter.
It can matter so much that, like, if the catering doesn't like you, you're not coming back. So be careful who you're talking to, man.
If you have a big venue and you play there maybe as a support or something like that, or you play there for free one time, imagine just leaving such a nice impression that you were so easy and pleasant to work with. That all the staff and the people, if the boss is like, "Oh, we need a new support," take those guys, they were so nice.
Exactly.
Like, it's such an important thing.
That's how the success spreads, actually.
You don't want people to go, "Oh, by the way, I booked those people," and all the staff are just gonna go, "Oh no, that's really not what
I can't, I'm not looking forward to this one." And the book is automatically is gonna be like, "Okay, why should I cancel?" Yes, you should cancel.
And that's also a thing with being prepared. Like, of course, we understand. Everybody understand that you need some training. Not everybody, if you've never been on a big place, a small place, or gigging like that, of course, there's going to be some errors, and you're going to have to learn from that. Again, be humble. Say sorry if something goes wrong, but prepare.
Prepare your set list. Prepare your performance. Prepare your gimmicks. And all the way until even before the show, like during ticket sales, try hyping up your show with like small surprises, or the teasing that you're bringing something extra at the show, or you're gonna do something interesting that people haven't seen before. Like, make sure that this show is gonna be worth people's time, money, and there maybe a share. Like, imagining if we're taking, like, spinning all the way back to social media, like, why would people share this? Why would people like this? Like, you have to be interesting and stand out in the crowd. There's a lot of people out there like you, and everyone is competing for the same for the same noise. It's an ocean of noise, really.
It's both a positive and negative thing to just admit. There are plenty of amazing musicians to choose from.
Yes.
Why would they choose
you?
There's just someone else that's just as good.
Yes.
It's a subjective thing, but that's just how it is. So I completely agree. It's very important. And about the whole, like, being prepared and stuff like that, that was also a thing that I think is very important. Stuff like your rider.
Your rider.
Sometimes you have the opportunity to say, "Hey," if they ask, "Hey, do you have a rider? Do we need to provide some food for you?" Have it just organized. Don't be an
search up what an EPK package is. If you don't know what that is, look it up and prepare one, and make sure that you send it at least a month in advance.
Like, just with a phone, you can make a good rider. It's pretty easy, but make sure that you have it so it's easy to see it, easy to read. Make it, so it's just like a quick glance, and the people don't need to be too confused about it. Do you have
like
any allergies and stuff like that?
The stage tech and the sound engineer knows exactly what to prepare for when you're coming, and then they know exactly what you're bringing. The catering knows exactly what kind of allergies you're having and what you don't and don't want.
Make it easy and easy readable.
And make sure that there are contact information.
Yes. And leave your card everywhere.
And if there's no, like, even if you had contact information on there and you don't pick up your phone, and you don't answer and don't, for the love of God, encourage anyone to contact you through Facebook.
Yeah.
Have a professional email, have a phone number, and a freaking logo, like that they can use.
That's,
for the love of God,
surprisingly important.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of people who are like against business card, and some are for it. I've been surprised at how much those little plastic cards or
cardboard box, cardboard business card, like
a greeting card. Important.
They
just give people that. It's also gonna show like there's a little design, and they don't just have to get like a piece of toilet paper.
They're
where you
still
write your
relevant
Facebook
to this day. Like I'm using it all the time.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be without it.
Agreed.
It's one of those things where people like, what's in my pocket? Oh yeah, it's this dude. And there's my face on it. Haha.
And when we're talking about being prepared and stuff like that, that's also go when you're a musician. I would argue that the singers might have it a bit easy here. Show up with a microphone, go yourself. So
I feel called out.
Yeah, I know.
But no, I agree.
Yeah, if you're a band that's,
totally.
you all help each other. Yeah. But like as a guitarist, I've definitely struggled with this.
Yeah.
Be able to tell if they ask you for a tech writer, they want to know what you're bringing. Oh my God, be precise and don't change it.
Don't change it. Just be precise.
Yeah. And make sure your jack cables are working. Make sure your stuff if you have like a wireless set, I sometimes play with a wireless set. I like that. Just make sure it works. And have it all prepared and packed, so you can also take it away from stage when you're like for small. Sorry, it's difficult to speak today. For small artists, there often are some changeovers that's gonna go very quick, especially on bigger venues who have more than one band, or like what's the word I'm looking for?
More than
festivals.
Festivals. Yeah, more than one gigs. Yeah,
it's gonna go quick. You're gonna have like 15 minutes to get stuff off the stage and stuff on the stage, and sound check, stuff like that. Think about that. Make it very easy. I have all of my stuff. I have a pedal board. I only have the pedals I need. I change them if I need something else per gig, because I don't want to be in a situation where I have like 27 pedals and oh no, what's not working. Make it easy. I have it in the bag. Pull it up, and then it works.
One of the things that you should definitely invest in, and that you can do that for combos, you can do that for pedal boards, and you can do actually for the most part of the things you have, flight cases.
Yeah.
Flight cases on flight cases, and make sure that you're packing in the flight case in such a manner that you only have to lift up the lid.
Yeah.
And when you're done, put on the lid and then get it out of stage.
You can even get like soft bags where it's like one big bag where it's like some Velcro inside, where you just stack all your things, your guitar, and then you just lift it like a suitcase, and then you just go.
Exactly.
It's so easy. And so make it easy on yourself. Also, so you don't lose stuff. You'd be surprised when things are going quick and maybe the crew are just taking your stuff and getting it off stage very quickly. Things disappear.
Yeah, they do.
It's easy to find your guitar and your amplifier, but all those small things,
even small like cables. One of the things you could do is buy colored tape.
Yeah,
colored tape in a specific screaming color, like yellow, red, blue, whatever, and tape all your cables with that specific color. So when you show up, you know exactly what cables are yours.
Yeah. It's surprisingly important to keep track over that.
Because the chances are that the venue chose to have it the exact same idea and with the exact same color. Very unlikely. Small, very unlikely and small.
So a thing that I really I'm surprised. I have two amplifiers. I have that I usually travel with or take on stage, and on the back of those amplifiers there are like Velcro stuff attached to. The reason it's there is so you can basically have all your cables in it. So that's actually something I do. It's nice to have like an extra power cable or stuff like that. I always have that there because I know if I have my amplifier, I have my shit. I just have everything I need basically.
Yeah.
I also have a lot of things in those like rolling trolleys. Yeah. So it's like a little suitcase. So I can just, when I'm done playing, put it up on stage, and then I just empty everything down there, and then I'm off.
Exactly.
It takes no time at all. And I think that's very important to to be prepared. And again, if the venue can see that it's just when you are playing, it just up and running, sound check, done playing, you're off.
Yeah, done.
Quick.
Off.
Yeah.
Get in, do your shit, get out.
And remember to ask questions. That's a thing.
It's okay to ask, yeah.
Like there's often like a lot of crew, and sometimes you can almost like, oh, I don't know, and stuff like. If you don't know, ask.
Yeah.
Ask someone.
It's that easy.
Quick. Somebody's gonna know the answer.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be shameful at all.
Yeah.
So, well, with that said, should we wrap this episode of the Juice Podcast?
So.
It's been a while since we've been here, and I'm glad if you stick all the way to the end. If you want to look into more advice on how you can improve your music career, check out the video right over here. And remember to subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for all your support. See you guys next time.
Yeah, we do.
Bye.
Bye.